Hey, everybody, Dr. LeGrand here, and today we are going to be talking about how to eliminate your ADHD symptoms naturally. So, what I want to share with you is actually a recent client that I just had that did this exact thing. Was how I showed how I helped him eliminate his ADHD symptoms. And so, just for the sake of these purposes, to keep names private, HIPAA compliancy, we'll just name him Jerry. He is a male, so that is true. He was a male in mid-age male, and he has struggled a lot with different ADHD symptoms to a point where his marriage was a brink of divorce, and so much so that he was desperate. And his challenge, because his wife complained so much about the symptoms that he was experiencing, not being present, not being focused, distracted, forgetting all the time, and so on and so on and so on. So typically, when this is happening, the very first step that really is required to eliminate these ADHD symptoms is you have to investigate. You have to investigate, why do you have these symptoms? What is the root cause of all these different problems that you are experiencing with your symptoms? Because if you don't know, it's very hard to know what to implement. You have no map and you're completely just going blind, which most people with ADHD, that's what they're doing. And most doctors that you're working with, same thing. They're just testing different prescriptions, different types of therapy techniques, and different strategies without doing any kind of lab work. But what I have found very effective for my own ADHD and for a lot of my patients, and especially for this patient, Jerry is what we're calling him, is that this is exactly what we had to do. And so the very first thing that we tested for was looking at specific different neurotransmitters that could be off. And sure enough, there was a lot that was off here. Looking at specifically his phenylethylamine levels were low, his dopamine levels were low, his epinephrine levels were low, and his serotonin levels were low, as well as his histamine levels were low. Now, things that were elevated that also could contribute to a lot of these different symptoms that he was experiencing too is his glycine. So there's some digestive issues, and his taurine levels were elevated. Typically, this means that there's a digestive issues, and typically we'll add probiotics to help with this. And so that's very important to understand. Now, to give you a better understanding of what was going on with Jerry, is that this pathway right here, the dopamine pathway, was an issue, as well as the serotonin pathway. I'm going to change colors here for a minute. So if you remember, his dopamine levels were low and his phenylethylamine levels were low, as well as his epinephrine levels were low, and also serotonin. Okay. So remember right here, that's what we got here. Let me see if I missed anything. Nope. Those were the ones. Okay. So if that's the case, what do you do in this case? So when I am looking at this and deciding on treatment, this helps me clearly know what we need to address. And so I'll get to the supplements here in just a minute and the treatment that I did, but there was one other test that I did run with him because he was also dealing with extreme fatigue. And so I wanted to test his hormones to just check in to making sure those were okay. But what was an issue is that his cortisol levels were low midday, and this is where he was hitting this mid-afternoon crash. Also, his DHEA levels were low, which is a hormone that helps make testosterone and estradiol. So those are the things. So follow me here. These things are very critical to investigate. So now we have a clear picture. That is step one, is to investigate and see what is wrong. Now that you know what's wrong, now it's easier to know what to implement. And so with his case, when it comes to the different supplementation, what I incorporate with him was, let me use a highlighter instead, is DL-phenylalanine, because his phenylethylamine levels were low, and that helps help improve phenylethylamine levels. Now, remember, it's right here at the beginning. So it's going to also help with dopamine. Okay. The other thing that I incorporated was L-theanine and Dopa Boost. This, again, is to help this pathway right here. Why is this? What the heck? Why is it not letting me draw? Weird. Give me a second. Something is frozen here. Interesting. Okay, we're good. So it's this pathway right here that's still what it's helping with, is because L-theanine and Dopa Boost help with also dopamine. B complex, because he had some B vitamins that were low. I didn't show that here, but he did have some different B vitamins. So we add the B vitamins because it's also critical. I'll use a different highlighter here for every step of making dopamine, as well as important for making serotonin. We'll get there here in just a minute. What else? The other thing I also incorporated was rhodiola. Rhodiola is important for both. Man, my iPad is really slow today, for both serotonin and also for dopamine. So that's why we incorporated that. Another thing, you already saw that his DHEA levels were low, so we supplemented that. We add the adrenal desiccated because of his cortisol levels being low right there. Okay. The other thing that we also incorporated was SAMe. Now, why we incorporated SAMe? For a few reasons. One, to help with epinephrine, and also to help with serotonin. So SAMe is sometimes can be really, really helpful for improving those levels. And then we also incorporated L-histine, because remember, his histamine levels were low. Histamine is a driver to build and modulate different neurotransmitters. Okay. And then, man, it is taking a while I think it doesn't like me jumping back and forth. It takes a while for it to not be so blurry. Alpha lipoic acid, probiotics, mainly for that. It also does help with dopamine, mainly the dopamine pathway, and also with serotonin using alpha GPC. And also the probiotics, because as I was saying before, it is really taking a long time to process. Don't know why. I've never seen that before. Sorry, guys. Give it just a second. Come on, let me highlight. Come on. Goodness. It's like buffering. Never seen that before. All right. Sorry. What the heck? Okay. So those things are low. And the reason why we incorporate probiotics is because it's usually because your digestive system is not breaking down and processing that. That's why I added the probiotics with him. And then the last but not least, if it actually will buffer here, my goodness, is 5-HTP. And the reason why we add 5-HTP is to help also with his low serotonin levels, because 5-HTP is what really directly helps make serotonin. So that's why we incorporate that. Now, supplements is not the only answer for treating and addressing. There's other things that we needed to address. So some other things I did incorporate with this treatment is more emphasis, and this is something we also do, is some testing to see what kind of metabolism you have, as well as what kind of how well your digestive system works, and helps us determine what kind of foods that we need to emphasize and incorporate more. So with him, it's more emphasis on vegetables, whole grains, root veggies, and light meat proteins, and dramatic decrease in white sugars and heavy fats. Now, obviously, his water intake was pretty low too, so we need to incorporate that. And then in more vegetables, using incorporating in more veggie smoothies, that helps in our patients' clients to get that more in their servings that they need to. Another really big game changer for him was incorporating intermittent fasting style. So I started him with doing the 8-16, so eating in an 8-hour window frame, and then he built up to doing 24-hour fast once a week, and then up to 36-hour fast once a week. And that made a drastic improvement in his mood, his energy, and also his focus. So that was that, but there were some other additional things in his health history that needed to be addressed too. One being let me switch over to a pen here, is his blood sugar levels were spiked. They were about a 121 initially, and then we got that back down to about 98. And so what I incorporate here is use blood sugar support. Now, why is that important when it comes to your ADHD and focus? Is because when your blood sugar levels are all over the place, up and down and dropping and spiking, this can impact your focus and energy throughout the day as well. The other thing that we need to manage is had higher blood pressure levels, and that definitely can impact focus too in your overall health. So we had to incorporate hawthorn to bring down his blood pressure, and then Livoplex because his liver enzyme levels were elevated. So this helps support the liver, and then pancreatic enzymes because he wasn't digesting his foods properly. So those made a drastic improvement in his overall health. And really that's what was necessary, is all these different things. And through just about 6 weeks of implementation, and this is what he had to say with his results, He said, "Hi, everyone." He posted this on our community post. He said, "Hi, everyone. I just shared an emotional win on the group call with Dr. Graham. One of the biggest reasons I joined the ADD group was because a couple months before I had a harsh realization of how my ADD had affected my wife and what it was like for her to deal with my negative qualities that come with the condition. After 35 years of being married, there has been a lot of impulsiveness and bad ideas and anger on my part that had us battling each other more than loving each other. I have been in the group now for about 6 weeks and on my supplement treatment plan for about three. And my wife gave me a hug the other day, looked me in the eyes, and said she noticed a big change in me and she likes it." Now, when he was really emotional when he was saying this. He was in tears. And this is why what I do. When I could save someone's marriage, this is what gets me up in the morning, is when I could save someone's marriage, save their job so they don't have to get fired, and to live life to their fullest. I love this. This is something that is finally something that can change because something that I've done with my own ADHD and now I help others. And if you would love to have the same story and be the next story like Jerry, I'd love to help you out because it requires, just like that first step is to investigate. It requires that investigation. And how we do that is first step is just to book in a consultation with me. That's how I'm able to dive in deeper to understand the root problem of the issues with your ADHD and determine what would be the best labs and what are the next action steps that we're going to do. And so usually when you book a consultation, you get a bunch of other different things. You get our ADHD health course and then a nutrition lifestyle tracking app, but you get that all for just $297 when you can book that consultation with me. It's a 45-minute to an hour consultation. And then you get all these other things as well. ADHD health course and a nutrition lifestyle tracking app. So if you really want to be the next story, just like Jerry got the great results, then I'd love to help you out. And so all you got to do is just click on the link in the description below. Once you click that link in the description below, it'll take you here and you'll just click on the book the consultation now. Then you'll come here, obviously fill out your information to purchase. And this is very, very important. Once you purchase, you still have to book your time. Some of you guys forget to book the time. So you'll don't move out of this page. Make sure you still book your time. Once you purchase your appointment, you'll pick your date and time. And then please do pick a date and time. If you do have a spouse or significant other, we do require that they are there. So keep that in mind. Pick a date and time that both you and your significant other or spouse can be there. I like to see the outside perspectives of the spouse and the challenges because ADHD impacts marriages and relationships. And so I want to see how it's impacting that other person. And then also do fill out your information here. And then it'll take you here. This is very important. Please do check your email to make sure that you got your confirmation email of your appointment. And then also make sure to activate your Practice Better account and then fill out the client questionnaire. So at least do that a couple days before so I have a chance to look over that. That helps me determine what labs we need to do and what kind of action plan we need to put together. And then block out 45 minutes to an hour. And then please do show up early. I do give you a 10-minute grace period. We just send you lots of reminders. If you're past 10 minutes late, then we have to mark it as a no-show. But if you really are wanting to tackle your ADHD finally and for good, these are the next step is to finally book that consultation with me so I can dive deeper into your medical history, just like Jerry, to really determine what is going to help you get rid of those ADHD symptoms, eliminate those symptoms for good. So thank you guys so much for attending, and I'll see you guys all on the next live stream. Thanks. Bye.